Hello, everyone. Good morning, noon, and evening to all my beautiful new friends, and thank you for joining us tonight at When Can We Play, where the answer is finally, at long, beautiful last, tonight. You'll be joining us tonight when we can play Blades in the Dark, published by Evil Hat Productions and written by John Harper. Now, forget the things that you're comfortable with. Forget Dungeons and Dragons, forget fantasy, forget heroes, forget victory, forget what the sun feels like. Because tonight, we're going to a place of shadow and loss. All is not without hope. You can still win. You can still have something, but only what you're willing to lose. Joining me tonight is Paige McCay, producer for the show and CEO of 321 Productions, an indie and film company dedicated to giving everyone a chance and a voice to create. She will be playing the character of Barnum the Cutter, the tortured, murderous acrobat whose sole purpose is vengeance on those who burned her family's livelihood, with them still in it. Also joining us tonight is Victor Rivera, a phenomenal actor you'll probably recognize as literally the best character in Zombieland Double Tap, who's been so great as to join us on this horrific journey as Thingama the Leech, a drug-addled engineer who may be one of the maddest and most brilliant humans alive, and is permanently in search of an alternate fuel source that may change the world and possibly give him the sickest high of his life. Our third player, Jacob Skinner, another talented actor and colleague, is going to be joining us after the break. He's currently working, but he will be portraying Vega the Lurk, an ex-noble from the Dagger Isles who lost everything when he entered this sad tale. His father was killed, his title stolen by an elusive Lord Skurlock, and now he's joined with these two completely mentally deranged criminals to find out why. These are our scoundrels we will be following through the city of Duskvol, the proudest and most successful city in the Imperium that controls most of the remaining world. I say remaining because the world was lost long ago, when the gates of death were broken, allowing spirits and monstrosities to swarm the world, and the sun was shattered, leaving us all in perpetual darkness. Duskvol stands protected from these dangers by the lightning fence which surrounds it, cackling with electroplasmic energy given to it by Leviathan blood, the main source of power that's extracted and scraped from these horrendous monstrosities across the Black Sea. Our ragtag crew of ne'er-do-wells have already experienced with them on a personal level, Thingama in particular, who accepted work on the group's behalf in exchange for coin and his very own vial of Leviathan blood. He spoke with Lady Clave, the Leviathan hunter leader, after the assassination of the previous, who assigned our crew to rescue one of the Leviathan hunter captains, Lady Ankiat. She was kidnapped by the Ministry of Preservation, the governmental body in charge of food, water, sanitation, that kind of thing, and who are secretly hoping to take over the Leviathan hunters. Now, publicly, they're allies, so your crew was hired to carry out this mission discreetly. However, discreet is not at all the word that could describe the chaos that ensued. They found Lady Ankiat. They found her in a warehouse at the docks, as another gang was showing up to rescue her. Long story short, Barnum murdered almost 10 people, and Lady Ankiat was carried away by this other gang. Mission successful, right? We'll find out tonight how not simple even the simplest job can be in this dark, hopeless city. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We are so happy to be back streaming this wonderful game, no less. Now please, sit back and enjoy the punishment in When Can We Play Blades in the Dark? Episode 1, The Fools. Cue intro! We don't have an intro, but that would have been the best spot for an intro, right? That would have been good, right? Yeah, we didn't have the intro prepared in time. I'm sorry. But if you will allow me a very unorthodox beginning for this particular game, I'd like to open our scene at Duskvol's docks. Loud, chaotic, harder because it's always dark and perpetually foggy in Duskvol. Specifically, we are in Lady Clave's dockside office. Outside this small yet lavish wooden room, you hear machinery, construction, and the shouting voices of the eternally underpaid. It's hard to enjoy this splendor so much when Lady Clave is screaming at you. She currently is just pounding her fist on the table, screaming, "How on earth could you not tell that they were not with us? You were to rescue her and get her back to us, and discreetly. Look at this." As she flips open pages. The spirit bell tolled over 10 times that night, and I know no shortage. And while she's screaming at this, let's just imagine for a moment the camera turning as she just continues reprimanding over medals, decorative plaques and memorabilia. She's a very accomplished woman, but who cares? Because now the camera turns over to a very short, white-bearded man. Victor Rivera, would you like to introduce Robert Thingama and his response to this?
Yeah, so hello, I'm Victor Rivera. Thingama is very short. He has big, wild, frizzy white hair. He has a bunch of glasses and odds and ends. He is normally electric and sporadic, but unusually calm. He's sitting there with his hands folded in his lap, staring at Lady Clave, and he responds with, I believe you told me all I needed to do was make sure that the cage was unlocked, and that's exactly what happened.
The glare that she holds on your eyeballs right now could scoop them out and stomp them on the floor the way that she is searing into you. But she says nothing because, son of a bitch, you're right. And she seems to realize that on her face as the red in her face becomes more saturated and then clears away. And then she calmly reaches down and she lifts up a glass, just a plain wine glass. You don't know what's in it. She swirls it around a bit and then turns and just decks it against the wall, and it shatters and blasts into pieces. And she puts both fists on the desk. You're absolutely right, Robert. A deal is a deal. And she reaches under the desk and hauls up the most cartoonishly large briefcase and just plops it down and slides it against the desk to you. There's the payment we promised for services rendered. However, I know that Leviathan blood is of the smallest interest to you compared to other things. And she reaches out. She was prepared for this. This was the carrot she was prepared to dangle in front of you. She holds out just the smallest, possibly most pointless vial you can imagine. It definitely holds poison, except what's in it is just this white ether-like substance with small strands of electricity crackling in it. You've only seen this once before. And it was the night that you demanded to see this alternate fuel source that they had been promising you'd get a taste of before they forcibly gave you a first-hand experience of what it can do to a human mind. And you see this in her hand and just the overwhelming, ravenous hunger of an addict. Your lips feel more chapped than ever for a second, and your calm demeanor, however convincing it is, can only be so convincing when she holds this out in front of you. She shakes it a little. Like a dog. Well, if you want this, you'll have to do a few more tricks for me.
How how much Leviathan blood is in the briefcase?
Oh, you're only getting the vial we gave you. That was all we agreed to. If you want more, you'll need to earn it.
Oh, very well. Time to make bed with strange fellow. Hold on. You've got me! Oh!
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I throw you off, Thingama? Don't worry. We're not that strange after all. We're very good friends, aren't we? Which is why you're going to find Lady Ankiat again and bring her back to us. And this time, perhaps try to keep your bloodthirsty clown in check. We don't need any more attention drawn to us from our allies, mind you.
If she's our protector, so if we need any protecting, well, are you going to help?
As far as I'm concerned, you don't exist. And in the event you get caught, or in trouble, or killed, you never did. Don't misunderstand, Thingama. You are a pawn to me. But I also know exactly what you will do anything for, don't I?
Is the vial still in her hand?
Oh, you saw her. She took it, and then she closed her fist around it and pocketed it.
All right. Fine. Where is Lady Yankiat? Where is she? Captain Lady Yankiat? Do you know?
I was depending on you to figure that out, Thingama. We believe that the group that intercepted and took her before we could get our units in were Sparkrights. The very same that maintain the Lightning Gate. And out of character, you do in fact know of the Sparkrights. They're not a secret gang or anything. They're an official governmental body. They maintain the rail systems and most importantly, the gate that surrounds the Empire.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Have I dealt with them before?
You tell me. That is completely up to your discretion if Thingama has a history with them.
Okay. Yeah. I think yes. And we could play that out in, like, I don't know if now is the time or like later. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Flashback.
All right. So, where are we flashbacking?
So a couple years ago, right before my true abyssal descent into madness, when I first approached the Leviathan hunters and then they gave me the runaround, then as my mind started deteriorating from like scholarly books to like hands-on mechanics and fidgeting and gadgeting, then I would have approached the Sparkrights to ask about how the lightning gates, like starting to learn about that process.
Is your goal a gather information role in this case?
Mm-hmm.
All right, excellent. And it sounds to me like a consort, because you're dealing with your similar backgrounds with them.
Yes, certainly is, even though excellent. I don't have any red dots in it, but...
That's so fun. Well, good thing for you, it's a fortune roll with no consequences. So go ahead. And I am not even going to cost you stress for this particular flashback.
Okay. Consort. Oh, no. Fortune roll.
And for our viewers, I know many of you may not be familiar with Blades in the Dark. The way the dice system works, and I won't go too in depth, but basically they have actions that are a lot like skills in Dungeons and Dragons or something. So they have things like study and sneak and things like that. And they have a number of dots next to those skills based on how good they are. They roll those dots in dice, just regular 6-sided dice. If any of them come up a 6, it's a success. The person succeeded at what they tried to do. Anything lower, and well, I'll show you how that works as we go on. What'd you roll, buddy?
So do I roll 2 dice and then take the lower one because it's a fortune roll that I do not have? Okay.
Yes, when you have no dots, you do exactly that.
Notes. Right.
I'm proud of my player for remembering the rules.
I will forget a whole bunch of other stuff.
All right, with a 4, tell me what...
I believe it's a 2 because it's the lower.
You are correct. Thank you so much. I almost forgot. All right, so what question are you asking me? And I will give you partial answer. It could be as metagamey a question as you want.
The general, like, an average Sparkwright character is, like, the type of person involved in Sparkwright.
Nerds.
Okay.
Straight up nerds. Straight up just real life engineers. They are mostly asocial. They're incredibly smart and aware of it, so usually unbearable. I'm making a pass in case my girlfriend's dad ever watches this. He's one of those brilliant engineers.
Brilliant. Engineers
great.
In general, yeah.
So smart, such good, smart people.
If I wasn't an actor.
If I wasn't useless. So, yeah, you basically know that there are a bunch of eggheads and some of the most brilliant minds in Duskvol. Yes.
Great.
So, Lady Clove, back to our current scene at the docks. Lady Clove looks at you and says, "Do you think you can manage this, Thingama?"
Yes, I can, Lady Clave. Thank you for trusting me with this.
If you get us her location and a source that can vouch for it, we'll give you... And meta gaming, there's not a set value of silver, so she lists the price of silver worth about 2 coin. Oh, sorry, 3 coin. 2 coin's a bit low. She says, if you can bring her back to us alive and intact, 6 coin. Do we have a deal?
Yes.
Get out. And we will end that scene. Meanwhile, we will then move on to the dingy, crowded, nasty, dirty Crow's Foot, home of almost every criminal enterprise in Duskvol, the point where almost all criminal activity intersects. We're going to go to just one of the most regular, dingiest bars that Barnum would be utterly unafraid to enter. Barnum, of course, is there, as she does, trying to make a complete fool of herself and get drunk and maybe pick up a few hot chicks. Because that's what Barnum does, isn't it, Barnum? You chauvinist. Please, do describe the... You don't have to describe the entire locale, but please describe your character, Paige McCay, and what she is doing in this scene.
Barnum is a small, kind of off-kilter looking woman in who is basically a murder clown, but a little more fun. If you've ever been heckled at a circus, Barnum was the one to do that. As we go into the bar, I typically am there purely to, as we call it, up my stats in a couple of different areas, such as sway, attune, all of the finesse actions, mostly just to hit on and flirt with barmaids who, that's basically it.
And if you'll allow me to take control of the scene, I'd like to say that there's one in particular that has managed. Now, Barnum, usually, she's the kind, I imagine just from what we've talked about with your character, that whenever possible has more than one on each arm, just to flex on the people. Am I incorrect in that assertion?
Absolutely not. If there are gray cloaks around, I would love to flex my superiority. I also should say that Barnum is from Scotland, which is a oppressed people who were taken captive by Duskvol, who were pushed out of their home and were forced here. So the gray cloaks, who are the police, disgraced police of the area, are her favorite.
Tonight, and as usual, when we've described you going to the bar, it's for double purpose, double duty of finding women and gray cloaks. Tonight's been interesting. One woman in particular has been enraptured with you. And she's very notable. She has a single eye patch over her left eye and a very visible scar going down her cheek and around her jaw. And her hair is black and pulled up in a tight bun. However, that doesn't at all match her countenance. She's dressed in very casual civilian clothes. And the whole night, she's just been laughing and just slapping you on the back and just, a little bit very friendly touching. And she just looks at you smiling and says, "You are one of the most fascinating people. Can we?" Here. And she picks up her glass, probably the fourth time she's filled it by now, and she pulls out a small flask and she pours it in hers and then pours some in yours and says, "They call it whiskey." And she tucks it away and she holds it up to you.
I don't make it a habit to take any drinks from women with eye patches or scars matching my own. Hi, another beer, please? Or if you have any of this whiskey?
Is ableist. You're a bigot. Drink.
I can't tell if that's in character or out of character at this point.
Sure.
So yeah, I call for a drink from the barmaid that I know.
Excellent. All right, and she hands it to you. And this girl that you're talking to, she looks very visibly annoyed that you won't drink with her, and she just shots it herself, grabs your glass, shots it herself. All right, there. I did it for both of us. Look, I'm going to cut to the chase. And she gets very close and puts a hand on your shoulder and says, "You and me should go somewhere else." How do you respond?
It's a little minimal for my normal night. We're cutting it a little early. Why not stay a couple more hours? What are a few more shots?
Oh, god damn it. Fine. Everyone just clear out. And all of a sudden, half the bar locale stands up and just starts filtering out, except for a few of the larger figures that you noticed off in the corners. And of course, you wouldn't have picked them out in particular because they're wearing just typical cloaks. Very typical for Duskvol. However, now that most of the crowd is clear, you can see their belts carry swords and guns. And a few of them have blue coat uniforms. And the woman leans back, smiling, and says, "Holy shit, you're really hard. I heard you were easy. No offense. I heard that this would be way easier." And she grabs the beer that the bartender got you, and she grabs it before you can. And says, "All right, you know what? I like this better anyway." She takes a swig, slams it down. "All right, so here's the gist. You have been really, really annoying and inconvenient, okay? I don't mean that in a bad way. Like, I'm kind of inconvenient and annoying to a lot of people, right?
I would say at this point, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to need you to stop, though. You see, we, the Grey Cloaks, yeah, you've been hounding, I believe, one of my men, Hutch. You've been looking for him, right? He's something about a circus, burned a circus tent, something, killed your elephant. I don't remember what he said.
Something like that.
Okay. Yeah, so we're big girls here. We don't need to be head to head. Okay? You are way, way outnumbered and underpowered compared to the capabilities that we have. Okay? But here's the thing. I think you're kind of cool. Okay? Like these guys thought I should kill you. And luckily for you, I'm in charge. But I think you're freaking awesome. Like the scar thing, I have it. Look. And she lifts up her eye patch, and it's just a socket. And you see the scar, and she says, "We even kind of the scar thing, right? You use knives. Look at this." And she whips out the sides of her cloak, revealing 2 short swords by her side. We even got the knives thing. Okay, so we could be like a really cool like thing, right? Like I don't know. I don't know any dynamic duos. I don't know if that's a thing that we have in our literature. I don't read. But if you stopped coming after my guy, we wouldn't have to be enemies. And I could help you out. See, you can't come after my guy, but there's other guys. He knew other guys that helped burn your little lion tamer thing. So I could help you get to them. You just got to let this one go. This little plot thread, yeah, just, over, done. What do you say?
You talk a lot.
Sorry, I'm nervous.
That's enough.
Oh, sorry.
Gonna
No,
get
please go
and
on.
go behind the bar and pour myself another beer. The only thing I'm interested in being a thing with, and I look at the barmaid that I know and I usually flirt with, is with this beautiful woman right here. I have no interest in working with gray cloaks unless it's to take a finger or two, or maybe, I don't know, take your other eye. We can play some games if you want. If you would like to try to kill me, we can. We can do that.
My
I will
other
never
eye?
quit going after Hutch. You don't even know who you're talking to. You don't even know who I am. You don't know my name. You should leave while you still have all your men. And I am going to continue my night here with my friends. And I'll never see you again.
That was the fucking coolest villain monologue that anyone has ever said to me. And I've had a lot, okay? Like, I'm not even exaggerating. I'm not, like, trying to show off. I've had a lot of people give me, like, bad guy monologues before I killed them. That was sick. I like you a lot. I think you're really neat. And I think we got something here. So, here's what I'm going to do. And she stands up and says, I'm going to leave you be. Because this interaction was pretty much all I needed. Here's the deal. A lead, if you will. I'm one of the guys. There's this gang running around in Coleridge, calls himself the Lost, a bunch of vigilantes or something. I don't really care. They're no names compared to us. But your guy is with them. If you go see them, you can, like, kill him. I could tell you where he is even. In fact, hey. And the guys in the corner, like, they don't know which of them she's snapping at. She's like, one of you. And one of them, like, they both go forward, but, like, one of them hangs back, like bad improv, and the other just runs forward. And she's like, I want you to... And she whispers to him. And he nods.
Speak up.
And she says, when you need him, he can show you the way. He's not with us. He's a thug. Look, and she pulls his thing aside. No badge, nothing. He's just a guy. Here, you can leave a message at the mailbox just outside. And she describes a vague street location that you would be familiar with, and I'm not going to make up. If you leave that there, this guy, he'll come guide you to the spot. He's friends, double agent kind of thing. It's what we do. You don't need to know. But look, if I wanted you dead, well, I'm not going to say it, but I mean, look how many of us there are. And there are like 5 or 6 guys in here. Of course, that usually won't matter to Barnum.
We can test those odds for you if you'd like. I'm always up for a new little game.
Oh,
line up, let's go.
Yes! No.
I'm gonna jump up on the bar and get a couple knives out. Which one? Who wants to go first? Finish my beer.
Stop. It's not our time yet. Oh my god, isn't she fucking great? Oh, the men here are so serious and so... I'm going to own all... it's just so cheesy. I like when people just want to get to the thing. But no, it's not our time. I feel like we're going to. At some point, before we become best friends. But until that day, I bid you adieu. And she turns around and walks out. And the other men follow suit behind her, not even passing a glance in your direction.
Well, I'm going to do a little flip off the bar, back onto the ground, and get another beer. One for you, and then pour her one. I think your shift's over. Let's go.
The barmaid, of course, just rolls her eyes, says nothing, throws her towel on the counter, and leaves since all the people just freaking left. All right, so if we can, I guess we'll transition to, this is where we're entering more free play style because you guys have been given information. We could say we're at Thingama's workshop, a cradled away hiding place in Six Towers district, a district that was once grandiose and still has that beautiful architecture and beautiful buildings and noble houses and government buildings that are now abandoned. The place is desolate. It's one of the most ghost town areas of Duskvol. And this is where Thingama's workshop is located. Light barely filtering, the sound of the canals. And inside this place, Thingama is probably madly at work somehow when Barnum finds him there, perhaps? It's open to you guys. Reins are yours.
Yeah, I'll go down into the workshop, immediately talking. Thingama, you really must try the stew of the woman down the street. She truly is a delight.
She's a hag!
She's a wonderful hag, though, don't you think? Pleasant, even. Delightful.
No. So, mechanics-wise, my vice is drugs, and not like opium or like marijuana where like it chills you out. No. Thingama does hard drugs and like anything that's mind expanding or like caffeine, like energizing. So I took like 4 or 5 Adderall. And
you went from caffeine to Adderall.
I don't know how drugs work.
No, that's great. I love it. That's exactly how they work. Do it.
Does. So he took like 5 pills of Adderall, and he's studying maps that he has drawn from memory from his time in the library, trying to figure out the shipwrights that we met that one time, how they got out of the docks, and maybe a connection to the aqueduct, which is on the right side of the 6 towers, to be like the little connection to the lightning gates and stuff. So that's
are you saying, is this a gather information attempt, trying to...
Yes, but study.
Right, excellent, beautiful. All right, and it sounds like you're trying to deduce where they, like their paths that they could have possibly used. I understand. All right, go ahead and make your fortune study roll.
Fortune, and then I have 1. Study spark rates. And what is that? That is a 2.
While looking over these charts and these maps, you connect all these lines, you're going through and realizing that what you're trying to do is completely infeasible. You didn't see where they went. You were trying to get the hell out of there. But you do still manage to see the point where you are familiar that Sparkrights have had a construction zone of sorts, but then probably continued its use after it was finished as some sort of unofficial office or meeting place. And this is just from your time with your buddies. You know, they have their haunts, their spots that they go off to.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say that you do manage to deduce a location
Mm-hmm.
and nothing else. And for the audience, the reason he only got that information is because he rolled a 2. A 1 to 3 is minimal information.
Yes. Also, mechanics-wise, since I did drugs, can I reduce some of the stress that we did before the stream?
That would take a vice roll or a indulge vice roll.
Yeah,
Goodness me.
All right. So,
did we do downtime at the end of our last session?
No, we have not, and I
Beautiful.
did level up before. This is game 1 on Twitch, so
Beautiful.
we need to do that as well. So, how many input value bonus dice do I get for Indulge Vice?
On your character sheet on Roll20, there is a button just underneath your vice that says Indulge Vice.
Jeez.
Jeez.
Do I put any bonus die in there?
Oh, that was your question. I apologize. No bonus dice.
Submit. Let's see what I get. So 2 and a 5.
All right, you clear 2 stress.
That is better than having those 2.
That was one of your 2 downtime actions. All right. So what else we got, gang?
I think one of my 2 downtime actions, if I might,
Of course.
was being at the bar. So I know that's not technically my vice, but I think I should lose some stress for that.
All right, go ahead and indulge vice.
Yes.
Because your vice
is lightning barriers, but are you giving me this, Edwin?
I feel like if that's your vice, we need to do your vice to reduce stress.
Yeah, I thought ladies was your vice.
No, mine is being hit by the lightning barriers.
She has
so
a
that I
lot of
remember
vices.
my family. I do have a lot of vices. Barnum has some issues.
But only one of them really makes her feel whole, and that's electrocuting herself.
Basically. So I'm going to go say I did that.
All right, go ahead and indulge vice. Now, for the audience at home, throughout our adventures, our scoundrels take on stress points. They have to indulge their dark, depraved vice in order to reduce some of that stress.
Can I tag along?
Absolutely.
Yeah, to learn a little bit more about the lightning gates.
Yes, so we're just at the edge of Duskvol at the lightning fences. These things aren't patrolled or anything because people sneaking out isn't really a thing. The outside is pure apocalypse. So people are allowed to come up as close as they want pretty much whenever they want. And you watch Barnum go through this process. What does this process look like for us, Barnum?
I walk up to the barrier, and I know Thingama's with me, but I don't really mind. I don't care at all. Wouldn't care at all. Back in my circus days, I was one of the trapeze artists who rode on the lightning barriers, and we have big kites on our back, kite-looking things that are able to conduct the lightning, and we're able to kind of fly through the air in a way. So I still have one of those, and I strap it on to myself and turn around to Thingama. Ready for a show?
Do it!
And I go. And as I trapeze through the air, I weave in and out for a little while, and then suddenly I turn and make a purposeful mistake to get myself hit by the lightning.
And it's
I
something
fall to
like
the ground.
It's something like watching a bird get struck by lightning out of thin air. She's soaring, and it's graceful and beautiful. And then boom, and all of a sudden just her smoldering, smoking body comes plummeting down.
She's smoking hot.
And when you go to check on her, you find that she's smiling.
Oh. Ooh. Was it good?
It always is. It always is.
Is there any like electricity like sparking off of her right now?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, she's still crackling. And plus, this isn't in real life electricity. This is ghost electricity. So the effects aren't just physical. Barnum feels the tug at her literal spirit, ripping away and pulling parts of her before just rubber band elastic snaps back into place. And of course, she lives for that feeling. And you see, it's almost like a ghost mirage, like images of her shimmering, and then it ceases.
Before it ceases, I hold up this little mechanical doodad that's like hand size, and it has 2 little metallic prongs on it, and then I stab her with it a little bit.
When I feel him do that, I just think about, don't take my spirit.
So what that was before we went, Thingama created a little taser kind of dealy. To harness some of the electricity. One would say that I tinkered that, and that is also applicable to one of my special abilities, which is Artificer. When you invent or craft a creation with Sparkcraft features, take +1 result level to your roll. You begin with 1 special design already known.
Would you call that a flashback to say that you built that?
I would say that was a flashback.
All right. Beautiful. So for the sake of crafting, normally we take the time to see the effect and give it some sort of numerical value for the studying and building of it, but this seems very straightforward. So I will let the tinker roll decide how this goes, but I'm going to give it a consequence. So this is an action roll. It's going to be, I'm going to say good old risky standard.
Risky standard, which is pretty much the norm. All right, so Tinkerer plus an additional die?
Yes, so when you go to, after you put the position and effect, it should ask for bonus dice.
Okay, so it's take +1 result level to your roll. Is that either risky or standard that it talks about, or is it just a bonus die?
Oh, +1 result level. So I think that not a bonus die. It just adds +1 to whatever you roll.
Oh, fabulous. Okay, so I specialized Thingama as a tinkerer. Let's see, risky, standard, and then he has 3 die to roll. So, whoop, let's see that. Good. Oh, no.
All right.
That is a 2, a 1, and a 1.
So the way this game works, everyone, is I provide, in Dungeons & Dragons, I'd say, all right, you have to roll higher than 15, and you roll the die, and it has to be higher than 15. In this game, you tell me what you want to do, and I tell you a position, which is how much you stand to be punished from failure, and an effect, how much you stand to gain upon success. A 6 is success, a 4 or 5 is also success with a consequence. And a 1 through 3 is a failure with consequence. So, our good buddy Thingama here, he rolled a 2.
But plus that 1 result for...
Plus that 1, it's a 3. So, it's a failure. So, this one's real simple. I'm going to say you go up to take the electricity, and of course, you could predict this was going to happen. It jolts through your entire hand and your body, and it just courses through you as it was through her moments ago. And you take a level 1 harm.
Oh, boy.
As I see him hit the ground, I just, still eyes closed, I hear him, this happened to him, and I just go, that's what you get, Thingama.
Yeah, it does feel good.
All right. What are we doing now?
Are we back at the workshop, or are we still at the lightning barrier?
So, now, don't forget, you can tell me that anytime you please. You have full control.
After the lightning barrier, I got 4. I took 4 stress away, by the way, because that was what I rolled.
Okay.
So as we're walking back to the workshop, I start talking to Thingama, just casually, like we do. I have an interesting conversation today with a woman with an eye patch. Do you know any women with eye patches?
I don't want to hear about this. Oh, the conversation? I thought, okay, yeah, continue.
No, not my type. Thingama, do you know anything about There's some gray coats and a thug that I now have on my disposal. I don't really know what they want from us, but I think she tried to drug me.
Like, what type
Not good drugs, not your drugs.
Then yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, she didn't want to give them to me.
So wait, aren't gray coats our enemy?
Yes, you know how I feel about the gray coats. But yeah, apparently she wants to work with me. She finds me interesting.
You are interesting.
I am interesting, but I don't know if I like this. I kind of want to find out what it's about. She gave me the name of the man I've been after.
Well, there you go. That's your whole thing, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, totally. And I would love to be done with that, but I don't trust her. Something about her. Wait. Where's Vega?
Isn't he the knight and just stalking around being weird and hiding in shadows and
Do you think he's watching us now?
Hey! I have your night vision goggles!
That's
No.
true. You also have his owl.
Ooh, I do.
Well, we better get back.
Yes. Okay.
And then we're headed to the workshop.
All right, so my friends, I have given you some hooks. You both still do have one more downtime activity available to you.
How does one get rid of harm, hypothetically, theoretically speaking?
For one of your downtime activities, you can roll recovery. Now, now this is a whole thing because you don't have a physiker or a doctor at your team's disposal. So you would have to acquire asset first as a downtime activity, and then recover as a downtime activity to actually recover. So acquire asset to find you a doctor, and then another downtime activity to actually recover.
Okay, so that's quite a bit. But then also, doesn't the other members have some harm also? So would that?
I would like to get rid of my harm as well.
Yeah. So should we go find a doctor?
Yes, acquire assets is once you acquire the asset, the whole team has access to it.
Oh, word up.
So with that, acquire asset, we will roll the crew's tier to see the quality of the asset.
Oh boy. If it goes poorly, I know exactly what to do.
You guys increased in tier after your deeds, I believe, last session, right? You are now tier 1. So we're going to roll 1 die. And it's a 6.
Oh, what?
So that means tier plus 1. So you have a tier 2 doctor at your disposal, which means we'll be rolling 2 dice for your recovery rolls, basically.
Oh, awesome.
Cool.
So whose downtime activity was it to find the doctor?
I will, because you have more harm, correct?
Yeah, I have a level 2 harm.
Okay, then yeah, I'll yeah. That would be my downtime activity.
All right. So to use them, I'm going to roll for the doctor that you have acquired. And mind you, I'll even say this is one of the nicer upscale doctors that's willing to treat a scoundrel, upscale for a quote unquote black market doctor, essentially. But yeah, so I'm gonna roll 2d6 to see how much you recover. And that's a 6. So on your little healing progress clock on your character sheet, right next to your harm, you can fill in 3 slices on it.
Sweet.
So you have 3 out of 4 ticks before your character heals their injury.
Got it.
And mind you, you guys can spend and get more downtime activities by spending a coin or 2 rep. Or I think it might be 2 coin. Sorry.
I believe it was 2 coin when I did stuff. Earlier.
Okay, cool. Yes, 2 coin or 2 rep. Oh, and when you increased in tier, you might notice on your character sheets you have 2 more stash now.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 stash you can convert to 1 coin in your inventory.
What else can you do with stash?
Stash is what your character retires with. Once your character has hit your max stress level 4 times, and as such acquired 4 traumas, you retire. And you're done, and your criminal retires with whatever coin you've managed to stash away.
Oh, that's cute. Thingama's probably gonna go. Well, we'll save that for later. All right, so that was my downtime, and then yours was to partially heal.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I have leveled up. So what does that entail? Unfriendly GM.
In your case, was it your playbook advancement bar?
It is. Yes.
Okay, in that case, you get a new special ability.
Oh boy.
Yes. Man, we have been making away. I'm gonna have to kill you. I mean, make it tougher.
What?
No. Awesome. Okay, so. Oh, please.
Oh no. I'm just gonna look over those right now.
All right. So, as we have it, those are our stakes right now. Is that Lady Clav has asked Thingama to locate Lady Ankiat, if possible, and recover her, especially if possible. And Barnum has received a hint that not the ringleader of the band of killers that she's after, but supposedly some of the underlings are up for grabs. And as sort of a peace offering, the Grey Cloak just handed you. And that is pretty much what you have available score-wise, except you guys can choose anything. You have harm right now, so your scores can be forming connections. If you wanted to go talk to the Sparkrites, like nothing sneaky, you just wanted to talk to them, that could be a social score. That could be a thing we did. If you wanted to... Yeah, and I know this is the part where people get overwhelmed, and that's why I provided you those 2 obvious plot hooks for scores.
So as we're in the workshop, I'm gonna ask, as after I've recovered a little bit, had some recovery time, I'm gonna be perched, as I often am, upon one of the benches filled with Thingama's nonsense, playing with one of my knives, throwing it up at the ceiling and catching it. Thingama, what do you think of going down to visit the lost?
The lost? Well, how can we find them?
I was given a tip, and I catch the knife.
I didn't think you liked tips, but
I took so much stress from that pun.
I throw the knife near Thingama's head. No. I was told by the woman with the eye patch that the lost might have some men that we could partner with to take down another man.
It is quite lonely in this workshop. We could. Can we, get them for our crew and stuff? Is that what,
Well, she intended me to murder them, but I was thinking another thing. I was thinking maybe we could find some common allyship within these gray coats. You know how I hate the gray coats, but maybe we bring them on, we play with them for a little while, hang them up by their toes, and get them to tell us what they know, and then we kill Hutch. And the woman with the eye patch, because frankly, I don't like the way she talked to me.
which one's Hutch?
Hutch is the one that murdered my family. You remember the story.
Oh, that Hutch!
That Hutch.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go. So I'm thinking that I then trapeze over to the to Thingama's boat. And I say, grab my knife on your way over.
Okay. And we go over to Huppledepup, which is my little tugboat. Which
Do you want to describe your tugboat?
yeah, so it's a real little rinky-dink little thing, and it has a lot of the rubber tires all over it. It has a little smokestack and the little thing that you stand in, and it sounds like an old Disney jalopy. And for those of you at home, Hubbledepup is what Thingama is in Dutch, like thingamajig and thingamabob. So
Beautiful. Thank you for that. All right, and please tell me, what is your goal here precisely?
I want to go make friends with these men that I was told about. Was I given any names? Or
So
just
you're
told that
going
they
to
were-
you're going to straight up meet with these guys instead of.
I'm just going to go over there and I'm just going to speak with them. I just want to know what they're about, kind of watch them a little bit, try to be buddy-buddy with them. They're supposed to be gray cloaks, right? Or are they just, like, not that even?
No, the Lost, they are not gray cloaks. The
So-
Lost, you actually have heard of them on the streets. They're an up-and-coming gang. They're not one of the bigger ones. They have a reputation because, well, they have a reputation as kind of hypocritical goody-goodies. They're a bunch of people who are blatantly just awful, awful people from all accounts of the members you've heard named in that group. But they specifically target people who, how do we say, they specifically target those that would use the underprivileged, so to speak. They target workmasters, the people who work the fields of Dunslow, the prison camps. They hunt people like that. They hunt let me see. Oh, there we go. Notoriously cruel workhouse foremen. Basically just vigilantes for the local people. A small tier 1 gang.
Really my kind of friends. But Lady with Eye Patch told me that there were a couple men that were under Hutch, correct? That worked with them?
Yes, basically, to say it in metagame terms, from your backstory, Hutch was the leader of this band of gray cloak, or sorry, at the time, blue coats that burned your circus. She can give you access to some of the other no names that were underneath him.
So wait, why did she?
That are in theory, because sorry, that's the part I forgot to say just now. Because those men are not with the gray cloaks. Hutch is, but his little guys that were under him when he was a blue coat, they went off to do other stuff. And you found out one of them is involved with the Lost.
So I'm going to find him, not let him know who I am, but to just figure out who he is.
All right, beautiful. That sounds like a score to me. Although
I think it might be us getting in with the Lost and becoming friends with them too. I don't know, however you want to do that, as you're the GM.
All right, so tell me what your goal is. Before we pick the score and engagement, we have to know specifically what the goal is of this little... Specifically, my goal is to befriend them. Not us be friends with them, but them to believe that we are friends with them. All right.
To use them, to gain their trust and use them.
All right, beautiful. That is a very clear, discernible goal. Now that our friend Vincent Vega Everett, I believe, is able to join the party, we can say that he walks in the mid-shop, mid-conversation, discussing these plans.
Oi! What did I miss?
I
Vega.
told you he'd been watching us.
That was a good one. Vega, could you please describe your character, by the way?
Yeah, he's a pretty straightforward guy. He's not much for joking around, not much for really anything that's not exactly in his field of view, to be honest with you. He really only cares about getting shit done. And I guess making sure his friends are okay. He tends to take Thingama under his wing. He just can't help it.
So, Vega, we can say, since you're a sneaky sneak, that you managed to overhear this conversation as they began talking about going to meet with this street gang, the Lost.
And then I said, Vega, these are my night vision goggles, so you back off. So, oh, hey!
Yeah, of course they are. You know that was a deal.
And they look great on me!
They do look great on you. Are you coming or not, Vega? We have work to be done.
Right. Yeah. When, where, how, what?
Just get in the boat. Does it really matter? I'll tell you on the way. Thingama, start it up, trap.
As your stealth vehicle starts jalopying down the canals. Sorry. You have heard that the Lost have been operating out of an abandoned rail car that is on the rail goes around most of the city and stops off in Night Market. However, I'll say that the ones that you'd be able to find without looking would be in Coleridge, the ones who are openly, because a lot of gangs don't hide their colors. A lot of gangs are openly, they walk around showing, hey, I'm with so-and-so, because that's what you have to do. You have to wear the colors and the correct hood, right? So we'll say that these guys are easy enough to find actually without a gather information roll. And if you want to go ahead and meet with the leader, they are not someone trying to hide themselves. And we can begin our engagement roll to this social score if you want.
Yes.
All right. Beautiful. So for our audience, every time our gang tries to do something like a heist or convincing someone to help them, per se, sneaking somewhere, attacking something, smuggling something, that will be a score, which is kind of like the mission. We jump into a scene where our characters are now meeting with them. So, this seems like the plan is social, and the detail, the social contact, this case also seems easy. You were introduced through this
Lady with eye patch.
Yeah, and sure enough, oh right, and this guy, you did, assuming you got some directions from him to the mailbox thing, whatever. You were able to arrange a meeting with Cortland, the leader of the Lost. Now, in the middle of Coleridge, this place, Coleridge, that is, this place is one of the industrial hubs of the city. Originally, this was where the mining settlement was. Like, centuries ago, Duskvol was a mining town, and this is where it started. However, of course, since then, people have moved on to other spots in the city, gentrification and whatnot. The jobs dried up here after the apocalypse. However, most of the factories and the industrial aspects of it still stand, and the place is still a loud, soot-covered mess. You see just completely ashen, soot-covered, blackened workers walking across the ways. By the way, this is Coleridge is the scene we are now in. I'll go ahead and call that. They're hawking up black sludge, sometimes spitting on the ground next to the canal as you're just floating by, and you see these people. The water's pitch black with kind of a viscous yellowish green on top of it. You can hear heavy rail cargo being unloaded by the cranes of the city. And I'll say that outside of this one rail car that's just off the rail, it's been pulled off a long time ago, just off to the side, you see this group of what can only be described as roughnecks, really. They look just as run down and beaten and dirty as the rest of them. And this is where you were told you could meet the leader of the Lost. So we'll begin our scene as, I guess, you would have to pull up your little jalopy somewhere and, I guess, pull it off somewhere in order to get up and talk to these people.
I want to say I make fun of Vega's accent here. Oh, that chap in there.
Well done. Very well done.
Such a supportive group.
I live to entertain.
Out of character question really quick, just please, because I'm an idiot, refresh me on exactly what group generally the Lost is.
Oh, absolutely. We were introduced to them just this session, so you're not missing much. The Lost were introduced to Barnum. Basically, Barnum found out that one of the guys that burned down her childhood circus is working with the Lost. And what you know as a criminal in the streets, the Lost is basically a group of guys who are criminals turned good, kind of. They try to fight for the common man. They kill, corrupted bosses and officials, things like that.
I like it. Yeah, I like it.
All right. So at this point, you guys are walking up to them, and the score begins. So in this game, we abstract how it begins. I could say, oh, these guys are staring at you and they're about to attack, or, oh, if you say the wrong thing, this will happen. But the game's going to make that up for us with an engagement roll to decide how it's going to start off. So for our players, I'm going to ask a few questions to see how many dice we get for the fortune roll for this. Don't worry about the abstraction too much. You'll get it as we get into it. So for my players, does this operation seem particularly bold or daring?
No.
No. All right. Does the plan's detail expose a vulnerability of the target?
Not particularly.
Can any friends or contacts provide aid or insight for this operation?
I think they did, right? Lady with the eye patch.
Absolutely. So that's plus 1 die because you said yes to that question. Any other elements to consider?
I mean, they're helping I guess for me, I would consider they're helping the poor and the overworked, the mistreated. Probably a lot of Skolven people. Maybe that's a good, plus for me. Because I am Skolven, so I can play that side of it.
We're only tier 1.
That could be a setup maneuver if you wanted to go ahead and roll a consort roll. However, this one will have a consequence if you fail. It's your call.
No, it's okay. It's good.
All right, so that's 1 die, and you get 1 by default for sheer luck. So I'm going to roll 2 dice to see how this score starts off. Your highest roll was a 5. Now, as I've said, a 4 or 5 is a success with a complication. So, as the score starts out, we're going to be in a risky position. So, we'll say you guys are approaching this rail car, and you see a bunch of these toughs. They're sitting around it and on it in sort of a chilling around the stoop kind of style. They have a small table set outside the rail car that you see one person is cleaner than the rest of them. They're not necessarily dirty. These aren't necessarily current factory workers so much as just they're poor, but one seems like they're making a clear effort to stand out from the rest of them, and you can only assume this is Cortland, who you were informed is the leader. You walk up to Cortland. You're not exactly sure what gender they are. They have close cropped hair, and they wear a simple gray beige overalls and a work shirt. And they see you approaching, and they nod, and they sit back, lean back in the table, not in a slouched or casual kind of way, but in a, oh, business is about to occur kind of way. And so I'm going to move our little picture for our players' sake. This is just for the players, but to my little Coleridge picture. Now, I'm going to start with a clock. I'll say because of your engagement roll, you start off at a risky position, so I'm going to make it... I'm just going to go ahead and start an arbitrary clock. Clocks are how we keep track of how certain aspects are progressing. For example, I'm going to start a clock, and because of your bad roll, I'm going to call it... Oops. I'm going to make a clock labeled annoyed. There we go. And once this clock fills out, they'll be annoyed and done with your group. So I'm going to go ahead and put 1 slice to represent the risky scenario starting out with. As you walk up, they immediately start eyeing you up and down because, let's be real, you 3 walking up don't instill the most confidence for seeing a professional interaction. So as you're walking up to this person, they look at you, expecting you to begin speaking.
Oi!
Oi.
All we want's information, yeah?
Uh-huh. And you are?
What my friend means is you and I aren't that so different. You know, I'm Scotland, you're helping people that are probably Scotland sometimes, right? That's... Where are you from, friend?
Here. I'm sorry, you didn't really answer my question, though. Who are you?
I'm from here as well.
Oh, hi.
Oh,
You can call him Thingama.
okay, you're Thingama. That's my name, too.
I'm Vega.
I'm a friend.
Oh, were we not supposed to say our names?
I'm not going to tell them my name out of character. I'm not going to tell them my name because I don't want them to know who I am.
And mind you, as you say your names, there is someone off to the back. It's a scrawny kid that's sitting in the rail car, and they pull out from their side pocket a little notebook, and they pick up a piece of charcoal, and they just start scribbling. And they look at Cortland, and they nod. And you notice Cortland was looking at their peripheral, nods back at them, and just looks at you, letting you continue.
I'm Eliza. That's what you can call me.
I'm Cortland, and I have a feeling you already know who we are, so...
Too. I think our alignments aren't so different, you and I.
Oh, yeah? Because I don't really foresee that being the case. I don't work in entertainment. That was a joke, sorry.
I said I work in entertainment, but if you're looking to be entertained, and I pull out a couple axes and start juggling.
And immediately, as you pull those out, everyone around you, they were looking chill and laid back, and immediately they're on their feet, pulling their swords out and putting hands on pistols. And as you start juggling, there's just a pause.
And we can be entertained. I think we can entertain each other, don't you think? How about a drink?
Are you trying to consort with her right now?
I don't know what I'm trying to do it with.
Now, your goal, I'm gonna help you out a little bit with trying to figure that out. So I'm gonna go ahead and make an empty clock. And This one's your goal, you said, with this encounter was to befriend them?
Yes.
All right, so I'm just gonna make a clock titled Friendly. Shut up.
Friendly clock.
I give up. I don't want to play anymore. So your goal in this score is to fill up this friendly clock, and you fill that up with actions. The same way that bad rolls fill up the bad clocks, your good successes will fill up the good clock. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Okay, yeah, I'm trying to consort with her, so let me do a consort roll.
All right, now because of the risky position you started off in and the weirdness you've displayed, it's going to be a risky position. Standard effect.
Good old risky standard.
All right, that is a 3, which is a failure. So the consequence is going to be, I'm going to say, consequences. I'm going to say that Cortland immediately says, that I would not recommend. And they don't look amused at all. And I'm going to fill in 2 slices on the annoyed clock, unless you choose to resist this consequence.
Resist. I
All right.
resist.
So for the people at home, any consequence at all, period. If something bad happens to our players, they can say, I resist it, and cancel it out or reduce that effect. But they have to see how much stress points they're going to take from it. So Barnum, to resist this failure, you will roll Resolve. And that will be the 3rd black box in your actions.
Okay, cool. Rena,
All
2?
right. You take 3 stress. But immediately, first of all, how do you react to them saying that?
Sorry, I was trying to get my stress down. I just catch them all in one hand and I say, well, if not that, then I put them up. I say, well, what'd you have us do?
They immediately, the air calms a little bit. And they don't put away their swords, but they do lower them. And frankly, after you had started juggling, they seemed a little bit put down, but these guys are professionals and they've seen some weird shit. And Cortland says, I don't exactly know what you want from me, friend.
Alright. Maybe we started off on the wrong foot, yeah? Genuinely, we think we can do some work together.
What kind of work?
any mutual jobs we have, anything we can get our hands on, really. We think we can help you out as well as you can help us out.
We
don't
look
need
to
help.
help the oppressed, the downtrodden. I start walking around a little bit, giving a bit of the downtrodden, those that are, and I kind of put my foot up on the table, that are taken by the system, created. And I step up another one onto the table. Those that are underfoot of those that should not have their feet anymore, perhaps. And I look at a guy near me. You get it. He gets it. And I think that's your goal too. And then I just plop back down and sit down on the opposite side. I think that's your goal. I think we can have similar goals. I was once downtrodden and oppressed. Now look at me.
Is this an attempt at a sway action?
Sure. Let's do it. We're here now. I've done what I did.
And mind you, hold on a moment. So if anyone else has a way they can aid her in this moment, she could get another die to this roll.
Yeah,
That'd be very kind of you.
I'll do that.
What do you do?
I'll pitch in and say, as my ever so charismatic friend will say, who doesn't need friends in this town? You'd be lying to yourself, as well as me, if you said you didn't need some sort of help from someone. Believe me, I of all people know how hard it is to do this thing by yourself. You don't really want to. So come on.
He gets it. I point at one of her friends and I go, he gets it. And I point at the little guy in the back and I say, and he gets it for sure. So
The little kid looks up and he looks so happy to be included.
Yeah, buddy. You and I, we're right here.
Be careful. She'll throw a knife at you.
Not hard.
All right, so Vega, go ahead and take one stress, and Barnum, you get an extra die to your roll.
Already rolled it.
Oh, you did. Oh,
I got
my.
A 3 and a 5.
All right, a 5. All right. So I'll say that Cortland is looking up at you and just, all right, hey, okay, get on down. Let's talk. And that I will give you 2 slices for your success, because a 5 is a success. And for standard position, I'm going to go ahead and give you 2 slices on your friendly clock. However, you also get a consequence, because a 5 is a success with consequence. So I'm going to say, Cortland leans back. All right, I mean, I'm glad we're talking instead of you killing one of my guys. I mean, because, you know, we were given the heads up that you'd be coming here. And, you know, my guy here was a little worried when he saw you do indeed match your descriptions. Anyway, he, and when they say he, you can see indeed someone stepping out from the back, and he has just weathered, wrinkled face and just a red goatee, shaggy hair. He looks possibly 40s. And you recognize this immediately as one of the goons that was there the night that your circus was burned to the ground.
Well.
Now, why would I ever hurt anyone that's on the same team as me? Right, friend? And I just twirl a knife in my fingers.
'Cause one of the gray cloaks told us that's what you were coming here to do. We got a tip that, well, I don't want to use the verbiage they used, but, well, no, I'll say it. A bunch of weird-looking assholes were going to come and kill one of my men. And I'll tell you, I don't appreciate that much.
I look at Thingama and Vega and I go, well, that's a good crew name. We should add it to the list.
Weird looking assholes. That sounds like something we need for our tier 2 doctor.
Sorry. And I look back at Cortland. The gray cloaks and the blue coats are my enemies. As they are for many that are downtrodden, oppressed, and helping those that are such. lady with eye patch sent me your way and told me to murder one of your men, and I figured we're both on the same team in that case, because, well, okay. So yeah, I asked Cortland, haven't I ever hurt anyone that I was sent to hurt? I'm not a dog sent after bones. I take bones when I please, and I get them to my little friend here, Thingama.
My friend actually takes them. So one of my friends, he's a corpse thief. He likes the bones, so I just collect them for him, and then I hand them over. So
it sounds like we might have a common enemy here. Someone sent me to murder your guy. They told you to murder me. It sounds like they're trying to turn us against each other. Sounds like we should just turn against them, in my opinion.
All right. We're already against them. We don't really need the help. Look, I'm gonna give you a chance to walk away from here.
Well, I'm not going anywhere.
You're not.
Until your buddy there tells me where Hutch is.
And the guy immediately takes a step forward towards you, and he looks up, and his eyes are sunken and gloomy. And he says, I can't atone for what I did, but I'm trying.
And I would never ask you to atone, but you can tell me where he is. You, I have no bother with, I have no problem with. Him, however, can lead me to the real person that I truly have. Hutch is not the problem, but I know who is. He is the way to that problem. If you catch my drift, friend.
Cortland immediately looks back to you and says, we're not a rental program. We're not a... Look, I like to keep things clean. I like to keep things straightforward, if I can. Candid, even. And you're all really dangerous looking, and all I know about you is that you're here to kill one of my guys, and you haven't really convinced me that you're not still going to do that.
Well, we haven't yet, so...
They look around at the several men surrounding them and say, yeah, that's a good start. You're right.
We're on the same page.
If we wanted someone dead, we would have already done it. What would be the purpose in all of this clownery, if you will?
Turn around and leave. And add a character, you're going to have to make some kind of action roll or something.
No. I was thinking through it.
No, you're doing great.
Thinking through it. All fine.
Now I've put you in a tough situation here. And to make it even harder, you have to use a different action roll. You can't use the same action roll towards the same goal over and over. So to progress this friendly clock, you got to do some besides consort or sway.
How much coin do you have, Bob?
Lots. That's a theory. Back in.
I'm out of character. I'm actually carrying a shit ton of coin.
Same.
As it stands right now. So...
But I'm going to say that I try to...
Thingama's broke for everyone that cares.
I care so much.
Yeah.
Ends
his coin.
Method actors.
Yeah.
I couldn't resist. I'm sorry.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna say that I just drop one solid bag of coin, which would be one coin, on the table, and I say, "Look, friend, if we're gonna be transparent in all things, I'm not looking to kill anybody here. I came here simply to make a new friend, and now I found my friend." And maybe found a new one. People like the woman with eye patch. I have no business with them with gray coats. I would never have business with gray coats or murder anyone they wanted murdered, because anyone that I want murdered, whoever they want murdered, is probably my friend. The target of my target is my friend. Maybe this will prove it.
All right, so I'm not out of character. I'm not supposed to do this, but I love that. So you're not supposed to be allowed to make consort or sway again, but I feel like you just literally bought the right to if you're actually going to spend a coin here. However, I will say, since you weren't supposed to be allowed to make this roll, I'm going to make it desperate, because that's in addition to I was probably going to do that anyway because they want you gone. But I'll say the coin also puts you at a standard effect instead of limited. Does that feel fair?
That feels fair. You know I love a good risky standard.
Yes. And remember, you can take 2 stress to add to it.
I cannot do that, actually. Risky standard.
Oh,
okay.
I have a devil's bargain for you if you want.
Let me hear your devil's bargain.
All right. So, and for the audience, a devil's bargain is when I'm allowed to offer a devil's bargain, something that will hurt them, but she'll get an extra die to add to her roll. So, the devil's bargain I'm offering you is that you will get your extra die, but the Grey Cloaks will send consequences after Barnum later for failing an unspecified arrangement on their end. It won't be too punishing. It'll be a situation you'll have to action roll your way out of, though. So I'll leave it up to you.
Yeah, it's worth it. Okay, I'll take it.
All right. Awesome.
Right,
Is that the first devil's bargain we've taken?
I believe it is. No, I think you've gotten heat in the past or something, but this is the first juicy one we've gotten. A 4. All right. So that's with risky standard. A 4 is a success with consequences. So again, for the standard effect, I'm going to give you 2 slices. 2 slices to the friendly box.
BFFs.
So, and you are still going to get consequences, which I was going to add to the annoyed clock, but the annoyed clock is not full because it was risky. If it had been desperate, I would have given you 3 slices for that consequence. But as it was risky, 2. That makes sense, right? If it had been controlled, it would have been like 1 if you failed.
That's totally fair, I think.
But nonetheless, you drop the coin on the table and there's an audible hush. And Cortland just... You really, really don't like these people. And they do reach across and like open the bag a little.
I really don't like blue coats or anyone associated with them.
Well, you know what? Neither do we. And I feel like I might regret this, but shit. All right, screw it. Maybe we can help each other. And they reach out their hand for you to shake it.
Shake his hand.
And you do so at their hand. And immediately, all ease is had. People put their swords away. They take their hands off guns.
While I still have their hand, I just look at them for a second, trying to deduce just kind of who they are, not letting go for a second.
They look at you and say, as if reading your thoughts, they smile. I've done a lot to get where I am. And they let go.
I can appreciate that in a person.
And I will say, mechanically, as far as the score goes, you succeeded. I was really hoping this was going to go worse. I want to metagame and tell you what exactly was about to happen. And since this is a metagamey game, I can. So, here's what was going to happen, you guys. Like, if that annoyed bar had filled up, you would have discovered that... Oh, I can say this. Cortland says, well, I'm glad that we don't need this. And they snap their fingers. And it doesn't matter about the sound. I think it's the gesture, because you look up, you notice on the rail car and on a couple of the buildings, there are rifles aimed at all 3 of you. That's what you would have had to deal with if that annoyed clock had filled up first. I was hoping it would, but You bought with coin and stress your way to a successful score. So let's do the payoff for this. Now, the most obvious, if you look at your factions sheet. Now, the audience won't be able to see this, but our players have a list of all the factions in Duskvol, all the gangs, and they have different ratings with them. Now, currently at the Lost, they are at 0. They don't have any relationship, but now it is at a +1 to imply that you were on decent terms. You're not enemies, you're not opponents in any way. And you don't get any coin for this one, unfortunately. You spent coin on this one, but I will give you, let me see. So by default for payoff, I believe you get 2 rep just for your reputation at all. And for, it's not a higher tier. So hold on, let me see the standards here. I think honestly, you might just get 2 rep from this, which still seems kind of fair, honestly, because, yeah, you got the connection, which was the other payoff instead of coin or something. So your crew gets 2 reputation. Word is spreading that the Lost are working with these 3 no-names that have been asking a whole lot of questions. Heat. You guys drew no attention to yourselves for this score, so you get 0 heat.
I think that's the
Nothing
first time
wrong.
we've not drawn like a massive amount of heat. I didn't even murder anybody.
You didn't murder 8 people.
Didn't kill anybody? Didn't set shit on fire?
No bombs?
It's a calm game for me.
So for entanglements, you guys still don't have a wanted level, right?
Yeah, no, we don't.
Okay. All right. Well, in that case, we are.
Wait, no, we do have 1 wanted level. I'm sorry.
You do. I thought we
won.
did. Excellent. So the crew has heat, which is an abstract measurement of how much attention they have on them from the cops, from other gangs, bad attention. And at the end of every score, we roll from this table called the entanglements table to show what consequences there may be for this heat you've gotten. So your wanted level is 1. I'm going to roll 1 die. Oh, well, that didn't work. I keep typing the wrong thing. There we go. Okay. That's a 3. How much heat do you have?
0.
0? All right. So 3, gang trouble or the usual suspects. All right. You don't have a gang, so it's the usual suspects. All right. So the blue coats grab someone in the periphery of your crew. You guys get to choose who is it. So which of your friends or contacts get nabbed by the blue coats for associating with you?
Could be the no,
gotta
probably
pick
not
one.
probably not the noble, right?
Your call.
Who are our...
Could it be the hag, or maybe it could be my friend, the boxer?
Your friend's a boxer?
Yeah.
My friend's a noble. And what's Thingama's friend?
Just himself, just my corpse thief friend.
I'm trying to think.
That one might make the most sense.
Don't you throw my friend under the
They can grab. Let's say they grab Marlene because she's Scolvin and they're racist.
All right. So sure enough, it's Marlene. We're gonna I'm gonna make a fortune roll to see if they resist questioning. Boom. 1. All right. So
So you had a boxer friend.
so your boxer friend that you once had. Now abstractly, are you gonna take the 2 heat from the roll I just made? Or are you going to pay 1 coin to play off the blue coats before we do this role-played scene? Which would you prefer?
What do you got? I think the 2 heat's fine. We don't have any heat right now.
So you walk in to Marlene's... What does Marlene stay usually?
Marlene has a little house on the docks that she has shielded me in quite often because of her connection with a rival circus from my youth. She remembers my parents. She remembers me fondly. so she's been kind of motherly figure to me.
So you go to her house, and as you're approaching, you see 3 bluecoats exiting. You see one of them has a limp, and one of them, his eye is blatantly like swollen over. You go inside Marlene's house, and there she is. Sure enough, her head is almost completely shaved, except for a single ponytail that just goes down her back. And she's leaning against the windowsill, just breathing heavily. You see that her knuckles have blood on them, as does her face, coming down her nose and her lip. And she looks up at you and says, "Well, your timing's shit."
Well, why'd you have 3 lookouts in here? They're not very hospitable.
I didn't fucking invite them, Barnum. And she walks over to a bandage and starts just dabbing her mouth.
Let me see that. And I start trying to fix.
She slaps your hand off, as she always has in the past when you've tried to do this, but eventually she relents and lets you take the rag and start. And she says, "I almost fucking had them. I broke one of their legs."
That's one less leg to take later.
I can't believe I just let them sneak in here like that. That was crap.
Why were they in here? What was going on? What? I mean, there's 3. It's not like you let them do much of anything.
She looks at you and says, "They asked about you. Like, I had to give them something. I'm sorry. They were about to..."
No, I get it. It's okay. It's okay. We can take it. I'd like to come see him knock on my door.
God help him. And she stands up and stretches. Ugh! Whatever. It was a good stretch routine. It's
Looks
good to
like you're
see
warmed up.
Yeah. And immediately, it's just back to as if that traumatizing thing didn't just happen. That caused you to take 2 heat. Please add 2 heat to your crew sheet.
Got it.
And as far as Blades in the Dark goes, that was a very easy, simple score. You lucked out on that one. Normally, the players rack up stress and pain and injuries. But as far as an introduction to our characters, I feel like we've established some grounds for what goals we're proceeding with. Would you guys like to do downtime activities now, before we call the game? Or would you like to pick up next time?
No,
It's up to
I
my
think
players.
downtown now is good.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that sounds good to me.
Beautiful. All right, so Barnum, you sounded like you were about to engage in some with Marlene. Was that just roleplay, or were you trying to do a downtime activity?
Yeah, I'll do a downtime activity while I'm there. Let's have a little fun sparring match where Marlene teaches me more about boxing.
All right. Is that going to be training or
Training.
indulging? Okay, training. What skill are you training?
Let me see really quickly. I'm gonna train probably my skirmish would make sense with what
Or,
I'm
sorry,
doing.
you choose one of your resistances to train.
Oh, that's right. So prowess.
All right. And since you have a special gear at your headquarters for that, we'll extend it to this scene. But you can get 2 XP in prowess for that.
Ooh.
So during the boxing match, naturally, even though Marlene is completely beat up to crap and had a limp when you walked in, she is quick as lightning and almost like she has something to prove now by beating you. And you are one of the fastest fighters you know. Marlene is probably the only person you've gone toe-to-toe with that can keep up. Like, you could tell those bluecoats had to have gotten the drop to achieve what they did. And by the time you finish, you're panting, her eyes are wide, and she's smiling.
Well, if you did anything like that to them, then I don't think they were really ready.
Oh, that's not happening again, love. Don't worry. And she walks up and she grabs you by the face and just shakes you and says, "Thank you. I needed that." And
You know
she
where
kisses
I'm at
you on the
if you need to
forehead.
come back.
She kisses you on the forehead and pushes you away by the face.
Cool. I go back to the workshop to meet the guys.
And as you're walking out, she just throws over her shoulder, Hey, don't make it too long to your next visit, yeah?
Yeah, I'll be back at the end of the week. I need another sparring match. I gotta take you. I'm gonna get one eventually, one of these days.
No, you're not.
Knife throwing contest next time as I walk out the door.
All right. Do you have another downtime activity in mind? Or
I
would you
do,
like to let
but I
someone
want to
else-
go back to the workshop and see if Vega wanted to come to the bar with me.
Yes. Yes, I do.
All right. Vega, what downtime activity are you doing?
No, I'm gonna go get hammered. Absolutely ridiculously slammered all over the place. I'm gonna get sloppy drunk.
Go ahead and give that indulge vice button a poke.
So yeah, I want to say I go up to the workshop and I find Vega and Thingama and I say, Vega, drinks?
Shut up. Let's go.
All right. So Vega, on your character sheet underneath, what is it?
No bonus dice.
Yes. No. Wow, you clear 6. Oh wait, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's the thing. You cleared 6 stress. You only have 5. So that means you overindulge.
No, I forgot about that.
So, I'll let you choose. Do you attract trouble? Do you brag a little too much about your exploits, or does your vice purveyor cut you off so you have to go find a new one?
Don't do that to me.
Oi, you! Find a random blue coat.
I'm
Come
off in
in.
the corner and just let me go again.
Let me ask you something, yeah? You like me, right?
And he's as drunk as you are. I don't know, you stop fucking touching me. And he pushes you.
Oh, it's go time. Yeah? Yeah, that's what you want? Well, fuck you too, mate. No. Throw hard right.
All right, this is unconventional. This wasn't any of those options, but I want to do this instead because it's funny. Go ahead and make an action roll for that. And I'm going to say it's a desperate roll.
Oh, God, okay.
Oh my goodness, Vega. So normally from a failed roll, I wouldn't make the player look like an idiot, but you've just made it too juicy. So you're slosh drunk and he pushes you and you go to swing at him and all of a sudden you blink. Oh, he's not standing there. And instead you just smash your fist against the corner of one of the square columns in the middle of the bar, straight on the corner of it between your knuckles. And you're going to take... Ooh, I'm going to be easy. Desperate roll usually means level 2 or 3 harm. I'm going to go easy on you. I'm going to give you a level 1 harm, but you just attempted to punch a blue coat. I'm also going to throw you 2 heat. I hope it was worth it. As you smash your fist against it, there's a loud... Barnum, you hear a... And Vega
I don't
probably...
even look. I just go, all right, Vega, time to probably go home.
Oi! The fuck was that made of?
And then I look at the barmaid that I'm flirting with, as always. Maybe get him one more before I take him home so he dozes off on the ride.
Let's see. Oh, I have this harm from our last session, an arm slash.
All right. Well, now you also have a level 1 harm. I'm going to call it bruised knuckle. So now you have 2 harms. So your rolls have -1 die and less effect.
Can I get rid of 2 stress while we're at this bar?
You have to indulge vice.
Do I get rid of all of my stress, by the way, or does it just stay now?
Yeah. No, you removed it. Luckily for you, you still removed it. You just faced a consequence for how hardcore you removed it.
Of course. Of course, the one time I don't want a fucking 6.
All right, Thingama, what's your first downtime going to be?
All right, there we go. I was clicking the wrong keyboard shortcuts.
That you were.
I was. All right, so I take some more Adderall, and then I just stare at the Leviathan blood that I have got at the beginning of the game, and just stare at the substance that has cost me many years of my life and many years of my sanity. So I found my pen. Holy cow. I was looking for that, just for people looking at what I was doing for the past 20 minutes. So that, and then afterwards, then I want to experiment with gunpowder and making a blunderbuss. So that's the flavor of training and prowess for rec specifically. But
Awesome. All right, so you can take 2 experience points in prowess.
2 experience points in prowess. Yep. Click, click. And
Awesome.
then I will indulge vice with drugs. With hard drugs.
Do it.
Hard drugs. What did I get? I got a 1 and a 4. So I healed for 1 stress.
Yeah, compared to the buzz of the potential information you're getting access to, these amphetamines are nothing. All right, who's going next? What else you guys got? You each have 1 more downtime activity.
I'm gonna go to the lightning barrier to get rid of stress.
All right, go ahead and do your thing. Indulge vice. You clear 1 stress.
Okay.
All right, who's next?
I'm caught between ridding us of some of this heat and training. No, or going to the doctor. Shit.
I feel like you owe us some removal of heat.
But he'll be completely shit to us in the next game if he doesn't get some of that.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like, I could give us the less heat, but like if I'm as screwed as I am right now going into the next mission, I'm basically useless.
You're basically useless right now.
Now you listen here, you little shit. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the infirmary. I'm gonna go see our doctor.
All right. Let me see. I've been steering you guys so wrong. It's not 2 coins or 2 rep. It's 1 coin or 1 rep. I have done you so wrong.
For what?
For extra downtime activities. So that's good to know. It's, it's a buyer's market. It's this economy. It's been sorry, we're getting static. So yeah, go ahead. We're going to roll the tier for the doctor, which was a tier 2. So that means we're going to roll 2 dice and take the highest result. A 3, you recover, you get 1 clock in that healing box. Now, when it comes to recovery, I believe you can pay, yes, you can pay coin to increase it.
Okay, then I will definitely do that. Pay 1 coin to increase it. And what specifically am I rolling?
I already rolled that for you. Sorry, I'm reading the rules as we go. But I rolled the tier of the doctor. It was the highest result was a 3, so you clear 1. You get 1 slice in that healing progress clock. But I can't even. Yeah, there we go. You can spend 1 coin to improve the result. So
Okay,
if you
then I'll
wanted
do
to fill up that clock, that would take like 3 coin to fill up all the way.
Now,
I'll spend.
can
Go
we
on.
spend the coins in our stash, or is that just like saving account and?
Anytime you want to pull from your stash, you delete 2 stash to get 1 coin in your inventory.
Thingama's 401k.
Precisely. You don't have dental. All right, so are you paying the 3 coin, Vega, or are you just healing 2 slices?
3 coin. I'm gonna spend 2 coin to heal the 2 extra slices.
All right. And is that all of our downtime? Was that everyone? Who are we missing?
I want to pay 1 more coin to do health.
All right. So I'm gonna roll that recovery roll again. A 6. You get 3 slices on that healing progress clock. So all your harm that you do have go down 1 level. So the gash gone. That muscle tear is now I don't know. We can call it a sprain. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, man.
Mechanically, would that level 2 harm then turn into a level 1 harm?
Yes, precisely.
And since I got 3 health things, would I have my progress clock on healing now be at 2?
Yes, they do carry over.
Just want to make sure.
So, did everyone, Thingama, did you get both of yours? Okay. So, if you don't mind, before we close out our session, I'd like to close out with a scene, specifically with what Vega might have been up to. And all that time he was just off, disappeared. I'd like to say that Roslyn, the noble who has been helping you since you got to Duskvol, the very same who's been on your side since all this crazy stuff happened, she put you in touch with the other nobility that helped your crew. Adelaide, you don't talk to her as much. But Roslyn, the noble who personally knows Vega and helps him, she takes the time to see you, and she's not good at all this blades in the dark type of stuff. She's a clerk kind of person. She's a secretary kind. So when she in Aladdin, when Princess Jasmine steals out and thinks that little cloak is like hiding her, it's like that. But she very clearly isn't dirty, isn't poor, isn't disgusting. But she sees Vega, and she's holding a rolled up scroll. And she walks up to Vega, and she's small. She's very small framed, very delicate, very, very feminine. But overall, she seems very I'm married to my job kind of person. She has straight, also a bun. She has spectacles. She has dark brown hair. And she looks so out of place and innocent in this environment. And she sees Vega, and she's like, Vincent, hi.
Whoa. Seems as though you've wandered into the wrong side of town.
I don't like this at all. I'd like to make this quick. I'm sorry, that was rude. How are you? Are you okay? And she puts a hand up on your face and says, I was really worried when I heard about all that stuff at the docks. So many dead. Was that you?
Vaguely.
Huh. What? I was looking in, and she hands you the scroll. I've been looking into the Skurlock character. I can't find anything. Anything besides what's publicly accessible. His family was of some renown back in the day, but they kind of fell to the side. And while it's in your hand, she reaches forward and starts unscrolling it in your hand and says, but there was one estate in Duskvol still registered under the name of Skurlock. It's in 6 Towers. Skurlock Manor's still there. It was never torn down. Nobody seems to own it anymore. It's still under Skurlock's name, but...
Is it abandoned?
As far as I can tell, yeah.
Huh, that's weird.
Yeah, I figure, I don't know if you're going to look somewhere for clues. Maybe that could be it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
No problem.
Now get the hell out of here.
Yeah. Be safe.
You too.
And she turns and starts shuffling off, like totally like looking left and right both ways, like not subtle, like she just got done with a drug deal or something. But there you have it. And in this scroll, you do find circled on the map Skurlock Manor. Which,
oh, fuck yeah.
For Vega, this is an important piece of the puzzle towards discovering who killed his father, who took his titles and his nobility, and why? So, ending our scene with Thingama in his workshop, as always, just scraping in drugs into his system and trying to concoct answers to questions he doesn't even know. And then Barnum, smoldering a good bit from her recent excursion to the lightning fence. And a good few bruises that aren't painful. They're just reminders of your visit to Marlene, one of your only friends. And of course, Vega. In the middle of Crow's Foot, all these people in cloaks and going off to work and carriages driving by, noise and smog and smoke. And you look down at this map, and circled in Six Towers is this one building that might help you find who you need to get revenge on. And I think that is where we're going to close out our session for this evening.
Very nice.
Very, very light session, very roleplay heavy, I know. Next session, it'll pick up now that we've introduced our characters and set some stakes. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us tonight. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you to my lovely, wonderful players. Thank you, Victor, for taking the time to join us. Thank you, Paige, for being one of the coolest, most useful human beings I've ever had in my life. And thank you, Jake, as always, for being just a charming, amicable, lovable person. Sorry you joined late, but that won't always be the case. You'll get to see more of him.
It'll be fixed. It'll be fixed. I apologize.
How are our players feeling?
Amazing. Thank you so much, Unfriendly GM.
Yes, thank you. That was so great. Loving it. So excited for the next chapters.
For those of you who wish to join us for the next episode, please come back next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern, same time.
Or Monday.
What did I say?
Tuesday.
Why did I say that? Monday. Hey, guys, so come
Tuesday
back.
was last day.
Just check every day at 7, okay? Every day, come back until
We'll
we
be
are
here.
here.
I'll be here.
Eventually, Victor will actually be here. But, and if you want to our game, it should be uploaded to YouTube by the end of the week at youtube.com/whencanweplay. In the meantime, thank you. So, I feel like this is cool. Any shout outs our players want to give real quick to any projects? Victor. Paige.
Ladies first.
Yeah, I just wanted to say congratulations and thank you to our wonderful sound people going on right now. Bradley Owens, all your original music, and Sierra over there with all the graphics, killing it. And
thank you so much to my beautiful, beloved, wonderful tech engineer, without whom this actually genuinely couldn't be a stream. So I love you.
Yeah. Thank you,
I
guys.
love you, tech.
I love hearing the laughter in the background.
I also want to give a quick shout out in case they're watching. Our friends at Der Waffelberg right now. Our one of our friends is over in the hospital in Der Waffelberg. We hope you get a speedy recovery, Sydney. We love you so much if you're watching. Yeah, we're here for you. We love you guys. Pop over to their stream too and say hey to them. Give them some love while they're having to stay off because of medical stuff. So thank you guys all for watching. You are on mute, my friend.
Thank you, Paige. How about you, Jake? You got anything for us?
Legally, that I'm allowed to mention, we film this weekend on a feature. That aside, no, you know nothing.
Awesome. Look forward to Undetermined Feature starring Jake Skinner. Victor, you got anything for us, bud?
Yes, I'm currently one of the voices that contribute to iHeartRadio podcast / audio drama called Tomorrow's Monsters. The 6th episode is actually coming out tomorrow, and I am in episode 2 and 5 so far. So, check that out.
Schnoice.
Thank you so much. Everyone, please go check that stuff out. Follow these guys. We'll give you, you should have their stuff somewhere. I don't technology.
Cool.
Everyone, thank you one final time for joining us. I hope to see you next week. And until then, I desperately hope you get a game in this week.
Hmm.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you.